Father's Day, I think the most exciting part for me as director was to work. Sounds corny, but to work with Billy and Chris. When I first read the script, I was surprised at how moved I was by the story. It's not what you expect. I mean, not even just Doctor Who. Most scripts don't really kind of move you to tears, and this one did. I was really looking forward to, I think, to that last scene between Rose and her dad in the church and the big farewell. Oddly enough, although the monsters are a big part of it, it wasn't, and the Mill did a fantastic job with the creatures. They had to be, they had to stand up to the rest of it in terms of, the actors had to do an awful lot of acting with these creatures, and if the creatures had been bad, it would have kind of undermined all the rest of the drama. But in essence, although the monsters are fantastic, it really was, a character story, that one. Billy was fantastic during episode 8. I mean, she had to do an enormous amount of emotional stuff, but I think, to be honest, I think she was really looking forward to it. I think she was very excited by, the idea of having an episode that was so emotional, and it's very much based around her backstories. It's a rather like the Dalek. It's a pivotal episode in the series. It's in the middle of the series. The Dalek is a very big episode for the Doctor and for his old mythology. Father's Day is kind of the equivalent one for Rose, really. It's an episode that takes place entirely within a few hours of a wedding, so it's all got to be daylight, but you lose the daylight in November around 4 o'clock. It's surprising how difficult it makes it, because basically you're inside the church for the equivalent of 4 or 5 days, and so it's quite an expensive and time-consuming rig to make sure that we could shoot for daylights inside the church. We had to put up a lot of scaffolding, a lot of lights outside, and I suppose that was the biggest technical challenge. For that particular moment in the story when Peter realised that he had to die, I just really wanted a shot that would give Rose a lot of prominence, and that would be just something slightly unusual in the language of the programme, and I think that's maybe why people have noticed that particular shot, because she looks like a statue. She's lit in this kind of unearthly blue light, and she's doing an awful lot, but she doesn't seem to be doing an awful lot with her face. She's very kind of, she's drained of emotion because she's seen the Doctor die, and the world is coming to an end. It's a kind of slightly surprising shot. This very wide-angle lens was quite close to Billy's face, and if she'd done much movement, it would not have looked very, attractive. Anyone's face that close up on a very wide-angle lens gets distorted, but because she had this kind of very still, statuesque quality, we got away with it. I have to say, I didn't have a lot of fun with Camille's hairstyle. I kind of delegated all that to the very fantastic makeup designer Davey. If you go back and look at old 80s stuff, it's a parody already. How do you go further than that? And I think they were able to get sympathetic clothes and sympathetic hairstyles that you immediately thought, wow, that takes me back. If you're of a certain age, or if you're not of a certain age, what they're looking like. So I think, I think she looked great.